What's up, guys? Glacial Void here, and I'm going to talk a little bit about going flawless in Season of the Risen with Void 3.0. Hopefully just in time for the flawless pool for you guys to hopefully help you get a couple of flawlesses under your belt. I also, fun fact, happen to be a doctor in real life, so I know what it's like to have some serious time crunches, have a lot of outside of game responsibilities. I'm also gilded my flawless title pretty much every first weekend that it's been available, so I know a decent amount, 4 times now, about PvP, and I've just played PvP in general with a bunch of friends. Not the best player in the world, but pretty good. Hopefully enough that this should help you guys with a general understanding of what to even prepare for before you set foot into trials to set you up for success. So before you even start, you want to have an idea of generally what class you feel most comfortable on. Yes, you're going to see a whole lot of hunters. They're very popular because they have a lot of choices, whether it's their dodge or their jump, that give them a little bit more agility to change direction mid gunfight, and those redirects help them win or isolate 1v1s, which is essentially all trials is a series of 1v1s if you can isolate them. You generally want to take the number advantage if you're confident in your gun skill 1v1s, or if you can, try to 2v1 or 3v1 your opponents, and that will, in those series of 1v1s, 2v1s, 3v1s, set you up for success. So Hunter is a very popular choice, and then within that you'll see a whole lot of the Void 3.0. It's the new hotness right now, but then also a lot of Arcstriders is another popular choice. Bottom tree Arcstriders popular in trials. Beyond that, if you are Titan, you'll see a lot of the Void 3.0 as well. It's very good. The Bulwark aspect, giving you an overshield and your teammates an overshield for almost every engagement, is very strong. People don't realize how strong that is. Plus, with the new shoulder charge changes, you can basically use it for mobility, and it is a scary thing to see a overshielded Titan flying at you at Mach 10. Beyond that, if you play a Warlock, you'll see a lot of the Void 3.0 again because it's the new thing, but Top Tree Dawn, especially for sniping, very good almost any map. It's always been meta, and it's worth learning if you play Warlock, or if you're dabbling in PvP and play Warlock. So, going a little bit more into detail, for Hunters, you'll see a lot of Spectral Blades. It is a very slow charging super, so it'll be like, 4-3 or 4-4 before you get that super, because of the way they changed Intellect. So you can switch these other two if you want to actually get a super, but they're not nearly as good as Spectral Blades for roaming supers for locking down kills. And then for the rest of this, Gambler's Dodge, getting the smoke back, your melee, there's so much utility in that smoke, is worth having, even though it has a longer cooldown. And then Strafe Jump's just flat out better for PvP, allows you to, it's faster and allows you to change your direction more quickly. Smoke has a lot of utility. It can ping radar, it can weaken enemies, it also can make yourself and your allies invisible. And then as far as grenades, you'll see a lot of Axiom bolts. There's a ton of different options you can choose from, and they're all pretty good depending on what you're comfortable with. Spikes, for example, are very good if you're good at like lightning grenades and trajectories of things, but Axions just do a whole lot of work. They push opponents out of cover. They also do a lot of damage. You'll see sometimes get double kills if they're grouped up, and it also just occupies their attention for a good amount of time. Vanishing Step is a nice, 2 fragment slot choice, and very simple to activate, just dodge. And then Trapper's Ambush is good for PvP in the sense that you're not going to use Quick Fall all that much, but just the ability to use your smoke to make yourself and your allies invisible on melee throw, very, very useful. And then as far as these guys go, the fragments, so this is pretty good just for the stat boost, as well as the faster crouch, as well as the radar bump. You'll notice that your crouch strafe's a little bit faster. It activates on sliding as well because you're technically crouch, and then plus the again the stat bump. And then here you'll see that for all of your grenades, making them last longer, making them more viable, very good choice. Especially your Axiom bolts are going to seek for forever. Here, having the increased invisibility, super useful for yourself, and sometimes you'll get overshields from your teammates, very useful. And then you'll see for a stat breakdown, we can go back here. That's another important thing to consider before you go in is, what kind of things to look for here. Generally 100 recovery, and then 100 or whatever your class cooldown is. So for Hunters, mobility. For Warlocks, you already have it with the recovery. For Titans, your class ability is tied to your resilience, so you want 100 there. And then after you have 100 in those two stats, you want to make sure that you have enough discipline that you can actually make use of the Void 3.0 grenades, because again, they're very good. And then your smokes or your Titan melees or your Warlock melees, also again a lot of utility with those, so make sure you have enough of those. Intellect is okay, but it's not nearly as strong as it used to be. You don't get supers from just stacking intellect. You actually get it, if you didn't know, from combat, taking and receiving damage, or dealing damage, I'm sorry. And it's not as useful to just stack a whole bunch of points here. So if you have a bunch here, consider putting it in other places. It's not really going to get you a super that much faster than your opponents, as opposed to if you're just slaying out. So that's something to look out for there. And then once your stats are straight, you want to take a look again that your armor and your fragments are supporting these stats. And again, you're looking at the stats on these armor, and you'll see that, they're increasing recovery, increasing your grenade, increasing mobility, because again, they go back to what I spoke about earlier, getting these stats to where you need them to be. And then the rest of it is just supporting what your loadout is. So you'll see I'm using a hand cannon and a sniper, so we want, targeting mods, a reloader for whatever your primary is, in this case a hand cannon. If you can fit it, and unflinching for your special, your primary is very useful here. And then having scavengers for whatever your secondary is really useful. And then down here you have a little more flexibility. You can do something that will increase your class ability when you use it, so you can keep recycling your class ability. Or if you really want more grenades, you can use your class ability to get you grenades. That's a different option as well. It's called bomber. There are a lot of different things you can do down here. So that brings us to your loadout then. Like we were saying, you want to support your loadout. You'll see a lot of snipers and hand cannons. If you didn't know, the Adept this week is an auto rifle, so you will probably see some auto rifles as well. You can use all of these things as well as SMGs. The map is a very good map for almost all of these options. Beyond that, there will be a decent amount of shotgunning as well. You'll see some snipers, almost every team, maybe one, sometimes two, but generally speaking, they're going to be pretty confident in their shot if they're challenging that initial sniper lane. So if you're going to snipe, you want to be the person that is most comfortable with their aim on the team. If not, shotgunning is fine too. You just need to know what your strong suits are. And you'll also see a lot of main ingredients, because Xur, if you didn't know, is selling a god roll. So you can get a bunch of fusion rifle kills this weekend. The map, again, is viable for all of those options. Lastly, for heavy round, Galahorn is just a straight strong option to secure at least one, if not two kills. So, I know that was a lot. This should be the initial video, just getting your mind right before you jump in and grab your fresh Mercy card, and hopefully you get some flawlesses under your belt. So I hope this helped. I'll put up another video that kind of goes over some gameplay and just general lanes, ideas, strategies, things that you should be thinking while you're in the match. So I hope this helped, guys, and you have a wonderful rest of your weekend. Good luck out there.